How you all doing? We've got this, show you it's a 1.5 kilo weight. You don't want it too heavy. Good for exercising. So, there's a number of exercises you can do. This kind of thing, obviously. And you get your basics, eh? It's pretty good. But two-handed, you can hold the top half in this hand with the Vardon V's up here, and this hand here, but put it on the 45 and watch what happens. So we'll do it from here. So it's a 45, and what we're doing is, I'm sure I've got enough room. And down the line, move this back, sorry. Okay, so we just start swinging the weight, but on the 45, so swinging that weight and turning at the same time. This is good for this because you've got your hands separated and at the 45. And then we just getting the weight to feel your swing. Can do it one-handed, so it's make sure you're down there, make sure you're rounding down there. Alright, we do it with this hand. Not as easy to do one-handed, but it's pretty simple to get yourself sort of rhythmically training. Again, I'm working on throwing and getting this down, and then from there, this going down like that and crunching, which then leads through, so you get this stretch here, and you get this crunch here, so it's like a stretch there, and then a crunch there, with this coming up. And it's all on the 45, but it is a refinement of the move to get more, which you definitely need. Compresses the ball, gets the club in better, and also because you're doing that down and then down, this is lagging your club to then throw out down here, rather than if you're too flat you throw out too early and it wastes a lot of energy because you're throwing out too early, so you won't get as much compression on the ball, you won't hit it as far, but don't get me wrong, you'll still hit it good, right? But because 45 is angular, when you turn, if you can go down that way, you are shallowing your club, and then you're up at the end. It's a small move put together though. You start to see in your swing, and I felt it in my swing, it does tie everything in. So this is going to be quite a long video because I've just had this thought, And while I'm standing here, it's dead easy to show you. Right now, Hogan used to talk about an apex. And like I said to you, if you had a perfect golf swing, it would be up here and down, right? But we unfortunately do not hit the ball like that. Because we're bent over and we turn, we have to swing up on the 45 and blend it to get that motion coming in square. Hogan's apex. A lot of people think Hogan's apex is up here, but Hogan was far too sneaky for that. Hogan's apex is in between the shoulders and a V down here. Right down, like as if that's his apex there. Hence, if you think about it, it's going down there, down there. Guess what? 45, 45, 45, backswing, follow through. Hogan's apex is upside down in there. Into your groin, right? Your groin is the middle point of the apex. So that point there, or your zip, is constantly in the middle, even when you're bent over. And this half here is your backswing, follow through. And obviously if you get that moving in your blended turn, you start seeing that. So Hogan's apex is actually not up here. It's right. Vardon's triangle. Hogan's apex. It's out in front of you. That way. Not that way. That way. 45. 45. Hogan's apex goes that way and that way. Exactly the same as Harry Vardon's triangle. Who came first? Harry Vardon. And lost over time because, like I say to you, people add too much stuff in. 2 keys to this whole thing. 2 keys. That with your hands doing the same thing. Right? So you just go up like that, and as you go you turn. Make sure you come down this way though, because when you do, this shoulder goes under, rotates under, and then you're back up. The weight will help you with that. But yeah, so I mean that there would be a perfect golf swing, but you can't do that because you would never hit the ball anywhere other than, well, straight on top of the ball, because you're wanting to move the ball. If you're a right-handed player, you want to move the ball that way, right? So you throw up on the 45 at the same time you turn, you come down. This is obviously very slow, but this is happening here. See how that keeps your elbow in, because that is their Hogan impact. And watch, when I turn around, Hogan impact, you've got to get, this is, it's such a tiny little thing, because if your shoulders are too flat, then you just won't directionally be able to control the ball, because your angle on the 45 throw, come down through, bang, it's got to be. And here's the thing, keep this in mind, short clubs, shorter the club, the more vertical you'll be, because the angle is pointing at the ball, down that way, right? Longer clubs, ball's further away, angle will be flatter, because you're not going to be going down like that when you've got a driver that's away over here. You with me? So your angle with the short clubs is more pronounced, and then as you get further away from the ball, this then becomes not as pronounced, but you've still got to make sure that that goes that way and that goes that way. Not as much because you're further away. As long as you know that, you can calculate it in the movement. But remember, Hogan's apex is down there. It's an upside down A, going through from his shoulders down through his groin, upside down A. Harry Vardon's triangle, exactly the same on the angles, and the A on Hogan's flight line goes out in front of him on the ground, just the same as Harry Vardon's triangle. They all knew that, because the outer edge of the triangle is where bang, impact is square on the flight line. 45 degrees over the 90. Right? 90 on the deck, 45 degrees through it. You can hit that, you can be banging the ball effortlessly straight. I'm just pursuing this because I've noticed that I'm just a wee bit too much. This is a hangover from my old swing. I'm too much rotational with my shoulders when I should be a bit more up, like, you know, really exaggerating it, up, like, and then down. Yeah, so it's just a small thing. It is a small thing, but to get it and feel it, exaggerate it, watch what you're doing. Disclaimer, because when you start activating crunch muscles in here that you've never activated before, you're also stretching this side, which you've maybe never stretched before, and you also stretch your lower pelvis as well. So make sure you warm up before, because disclaimer, you could injure yourself stretching muscles that you've never stretched before. You might, you know, over stretch it, might even slightly tear something that will be very painful. So for goodness sakes, warm up, take your time, watch what you're doing. Do it in moderation, because it's slight exaggeration over a period of time to make, honestly, to goodness, a tiny change, right? It's like minuscule in the actual change. Because as you'll find when you video your swing enough, your swing has, back to the weight, it has a natural kind of swing, right? Now you can feel that because it's heavy and I'm just letting that swing there. Right, and then I'm letting it go up and I'm still letting it swing. Right, no matter what I do, it'll basically want to go that way because it's the path of least resistance, and it's just the way the weight wants to go. If I drop my hand off, or if I drop this hand off, the same sort of thing, that is what you want happening in your golf swing. And probably the quickest way is just gently warming up with something like that, and then putting the club in your hand, and then yeah. Hope you've enjoyed the video, add-on video. This will drop middle of May, and hopefully by this point, when this video drops, the swing videos you'll be able maybe be able to see the difference. Hopefully, I'm feeling the difference. Whether it translates on video, it's very hard to actually nail down. I hope you've stuck with the video, because if you have, you've learned a lot, especially about how, like I say to you, the old books that have been lost over time were co-written with the pro, because they weren't authors, so they got an author to write the book on the guidance of the pro, whoever that was, and then they got illustrators to illustrate illustrations that they hand wrote out. So a lot of these things are upside down, topsy-turvy, and illustrated the wrong way, or even printed wrongly in the actual book. Missed over time. Pro never actually probably checked the book before he says, that figure 8 looks alright and that figure 9 looks okay. And throughout all that, then folks start adding things in, because the main thing is here, you're trying to translate something that's complicated, has a lot of movements, and if you're a coach or trying to show someone how to do this, you want your own style imposed so that you have a chance of translating what you want them to do and for them to understand it, right? And a lot of people do not get it at all, do not understand it, because of all these errors over time, and coaches simply overcomplicating something that's fundamentally simple, because the 45 and the throw and with a turn hits every position, but at no point have I ever taught you a position, right? But if you do this and stop your video, you will start to find all your positions, and through that you can say, right, I need to do this a bit more authoritatively to get myself into, but you're not hitting positions, you're hitting there with a turn, and how well you turn, and that's what I've been talking about in the prior 15 minutes. The turn has obviously got to point to the ball, so it's how well you can get this turn and the blend together that improves your swing the fastest. Everything else, right, once you get it up there, the good thing about this is, once you get it up there, it's automatic down. It just fires itself, because you've wound up, you've got a lot of stored energy, the club's up there, gravity's your friend, and the unwind just is like, because you've wound, the unwind just happens. There is no, honest to goodness, no thought whatsoever after you've got the club to the top. I mean, once you get comfortable enough with this, there's no thought about it getting to the top either, because you're just basically, right, you're just basically up, and then that's your follow through, right? So it's the V, 45 degrees, the angle on the 90. And I know I go on about it a lot, but it's because it's that, and right, bang, because you're through. As long as you can get this, bang, lead slightly higher, that going under, and then you're up, and you play the best golf you've ever played. Hopefully at this point you've watched the videos and you've got the hang of this, because it does help. Thanks for watching. Channel's all for Macmillan Help the Heroes Shelter UK. That's where all the ad revenue goes, so nothing's coming here. It's all helping charities. Of course, we need to get monetized first, because we need to get over 1,000 subscribers. Pretty difficult to do, it seems. Over 5 years been trying this. Are getting closer. So thanks very much for sticking with us. I know it's a long video. It didn't start out that it was going to be that long. I was going to make it quite short. But when you get a little idea and then it starts to make sense, it's a bad idea to stop, break it up into parts, and then try and put it out as like a separate entity when it's all connected. Harry Vardon, Ben Hogan, Henry Cotton, Sam Snead, Lee Trevino, Seve Ballesteros, Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, the Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, every single player that has unbelievable abilities on the golf course to do things with a club and stuff, at no point in the less than 1.2 seconds that it takes to do a swing has any conscious thought during that 1.2 seconds of how to control it. It's uncontrollable. It's a motion of free-flowing energy that is set in motion by only two things, and if you get those two things near enough right, I mean, you're talking like you've got like between here and here to get it right, 6 inches, everything falls into place. It's how young kids pick this up and never ever get a lesson, and they're like, wow, how are they doing that? Because it's actually, if you know, some people will have it that they just get it and they go with it, you know. Others will not believe it until they try it. So that's why me included, fought so many years against this free flowing transitional motion that gives you everything, all your positions without any thought of positions. Everything's a throw up and a throw down, and your body's just moving through the shot, all pivoting through the ground, up and down, well, a spiral, and you know, Fibonacci and all that. Everything falls into place. Whew. Man, that's been a long video, but thanks for sticking with it. Comment below. I know a lot of you are really enjoying everything. And swing the handle, it all ties in. It's the smaller target you can, in reality, right, you're throwing the handle up to here, right? That's how people talk about swinging the handle. Forget about the club head, it's getting in the way of the ball every time because it's attached to the end of the handle. So you can actually think about, forget the club head, the handle's got to hit these points. Handle here, handle there, with the turn handle, bang, and you're in an impact. It's the axe blow, but it's on the 45 of the turn. You just, like I said earlier, you can really tweak it with just a few little things that improve it. But you've got to take it baby steps first. So recap over the videos. Don't jump ahead, take it easy, and happy golfing, folks.